So this is Wednesday, the 18th of September, free open Q&A with Cass and Mary Jane. Cass, explain how this works.
So we've just got one person here, Sandy, but we normally find that in the first few minutes or so, a few more people trickle in, sometimes quite a lot of people. So, but all it is a question and answer session. There's more coming in now. There's no demonstration or presentation that we do. We simply just answer questions for as long as people have questions, which normally takes the full hour. But if there's only one or two tonight, it may be nice and quick. So
yeah, we had 30 people on last week, and it did go for the full hour. And 30 people was, I think, a record for this sort of Q&A.
Yeah. So yeah, Sandy and Sophie, you've got the spotlight because you're the only two on at this moment. So hopefully, and it is fine. Also, we do definitely have people who just log on just to listen to other people's questions. That's okay. But if neither of you two have any questions, it's going to be a very quick session. So Sandy or Sophie, you can raise your virtual hand. You can put a question in the chat box. You can turn your camera on and wave at us.
You are being recorded, just to let you know. These do get uploaded somewhere at some stage just for other people to get the information from. You will need to unmute yourself if you do want to ask a question. Hi, Sandy.
You're muted. You're muted. Sandy, you're muted. Yep, that's better.
How's that?
Yes, that's good.
Okay. All right. Take two. So I've only just downloaded Teams so I could join this meeting tonight. So yeah,
that's all
getting
good.
a few of the buttons under control.
Good.
With your help. Hello.
Yeah, good. So good. So you've got a question for us?
Yeah. So the question is in regards to self-managed super funds. And then also I saw one of your posts in regards to can you buy the premises that you operate your business out of? Is there a minimum amount for both of those things?
No, there's not. Legally, there is not. For a minimum amount for a self-managed super fund, we do recommend you have more than 150,000. But that's not a legal limit. You can do it with less than that. A self-managed super fund can actually have up to 6 members. So to get over 150,000 isn't normally too hard with 2 or 3 members.
Okay.
Yeah, the majority of SMSFs we have normally partners, husband and wife, or close friends, or siblings, or acquaintances, things like that. So in terms of the commercial property, there's no minimum on that as well. Obviously, commercial properties aren't very cheap, so you probably wouldn't get one for too little. But no, there's no minimum. You could buy any commercial property that you can afford in the SMSF. You can also borrow to buy a commercial property. So say, for example, you only had 100,000 in the SMSF, but you could borrow 300,000. That gives you a $400,000 commercial property.
Right. Okay. And I was going to be hopefully one of those people that was going to sit back and listen to some other questions. They were basically my main questions.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, no, if we don't have anyone else log on, it's only, I think so, 4.
Yeah. Sophie has just said I'm in bed listening, migraine, sorry, PS, and sorry for your fur baby loss.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's been very difficult, but life goes in cycles, and all good things come to an end at some stage. He was certainly in a lot of pain, and it was very sad to see him the way he was. So it's good that he's gone somewhere back to the happy field, wagging his tail and young again. So, yes.
So maybe just Cass for like a couple of minutes to help Sandy and Sophie, who have just logged on, obviously, to listen. What are maybe one or two of the most interesting questions or common questions that we've been asked in these sessions, or ones that come to mind immediately? Just one or two to,
Yeah.
Not to
Yeah,
put you on the
probably
spot or anything.
a lot of the ones that we do, and there are, if anyone wants to, Sophie, if you're really keen, you could log on to our website, our YouTube channel, and watch a whole lot of past ones if tonight is a short one, because they generally go for about an hour, and we talk about all sorts of things, all the way from what should you invest in, all the way through to the rules about how to deposit money, how to withdraw money. And basically, the majority of our clients, I would say 90% of our clients, are investing in gold and silver. Some into crypto. That's not my thing. I don't recommend crypto, but just in case, maybe it is going to skyrocket, like they say. So some of our clients do some into crypto. But gold and silver is generally the recommended. Well, not the recommended. We can't recommend anything, but suggest we can, and most of our clients are doing the gold and silver. We do recommend, we're allowed to recommend this, is Ainsley Bullion as our preferred provider, and we have dealt with a few other providers over the time, and there's been some controversy lately over ABC Bullion.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I haven't read into it too much, but there's definitely an ASIC investigation going on.
Really?
Yeah, if you Google it, it's on the news. So so I'm glad we stopped recommending them quite some time ago. Ainsley Bullion have been in business 50 years. They're a family owned business. They're a great bunch of people. So generally what we help clients do is...
Can I just ask,
Yep.
you recommended the website you could watch these. Where is it exactly? Because I tried to find them the other day and I couldn't.
I corrected myself at the YouTube channel.
Oh, sorry, YouTube.
Yeah, the
Now,
YouTube.
who's YouTube?
Oh, we've got some of our really old ones there under the Cass Smith one. And then my internet's down. The more modern ones, the more recent ones are under Freedom Broadcasting Network.
Oh, and that's a YouTube channel, is it?
Yeah.
Freedom. Okay, because
No,
I'll link that.
we probably should put that on our website at some stage, the link to the FBN. But anyway, so we help clients set up SMSFs and roll over their money into the SMSF. Mary Jane does all that side of the process. And then Ainsley Bullion help clients buy the gold and silver, a very easy process. And then we have a whole accounting team that support us that then go on to do financial statements, tax returns, everything that an SMSF needs to run. So my motto, I have been doing SMSF accounting and auditing for over 20 years. I think it's up to about 25 years. That's how long they've been around. That's amazing. And they've always been, in my opinion, the best thing since sliced bread. But now, with everything going on in the world, they are just even more important, because it's just about helping clients get control of their own financial life, getting control of their own super. Because if you leave it in the corporate systems where it currently is, it is generally invested in the likes of Vanguard and BlackRock that invest in a whole lot of not so savoury companies. And if the whole world comes to a crash, financial world comes to a crash, share market comes to a crash, which I solidly believe it will, all of that superannuation will crash. 90% gone. So SMSF is about getting it into your own control, getting it into something like gold and silver, which is a physical asset, which can't just be disappeared at a push of a button. And that's where, after the pandemic, my SMSF business, we went through a 2,000% increase in business, because I was speaking at some of the freedom rallies, just saying what an SMSF is and that it could be beneficial to get your money out of the system. And a huge number of fellow freedom people, freedom believers, believe that that's the way to go. So that's our sole focus now. We have a team of, I don't know, there's about 15 of us at the moment, I think. And more than that, Mary Jane says, just solely dedicated to helping people with their SMSF. So so if neither of you have any other questions, Mary Jane, did you think any other question that you could pose that other people have asked before? You're muted.
No, but I do want to find this YouTube channel. So it's the Freedom Broadcasting Network. It's different to the Voice of Freedom, is it? It's different to Carl's.
Should just be a website, Freedom Broadcasting Network, www Freedom Broadcasting Network.
Oh, there's one. Okay, Freedom. Okay, let me just search it and I'll put it in the link. Hang on. Broadcastnetwork.com.au.
Should be.
Okay. It says this site can't be reached.
Okay. I'll get it off Carl and we can post a link on our future website. We only record them. They don't go out to a huge group of people. They're just there for people who would like to log on and just listen to things that we talk about in the background. Some of them get very interesting, very controversial, which is always fun. So, Sandy, you did have another question?
Yeah, I would like to watch those videos as well. Thank you. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, but I'm not sure that it's relevant tonight, is the property that you've set up on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, sure. We can
either visiting. I'm sure I saw somewhere you mentioned something about setting up businesses there as well.
Yeah, it's more for not so much for running a business from, although there's no restriction on, doing a small home-based massage business or, just a little business on the side here. But yeah, so we sell off an acre lot for 200,000, which is very, very cheap for land in the Gold Coast hinterland. Equivalent acre somewhere else would be closer to 500,000. We've set it up as a community, so there's 40 blocks. About 35 of them have been sold off. There is a few left for people to buy in. We're not really marketing them. The only time they sell is just through word of mouth, through people hearing about them through channels. And so you come in here, people are putting in tiny homes, container homes, or just living in a caravan and for now, things like that. And the whole point of it is that we started just after COVID, just after all the lockdowns. So it was a point of setting up something to escape from the city, escape from the harshness of the lockdowns, get away from the 15-minute city that they're driving us all into, and just have a place to be out in nature and looking at becoming self-sufficient, growing all our crops. We've got animals, we've planted orchards. Give us maybe 3 years and the orchards will be coming to, at least some basic fruiting then, and we'll have enough to survive should we enter into another pandemic.
And is it possible to drop in and have a look at the property? How do you?
Yeah, for sure. Are you Queensland based?
Yes.
Yeah. So just touch base. Mary Jane can just pop my phone number into the chat.
I put your email in the chat to start with. There we go. I'll put Cass's phone number in there as well. Yeah. So the way to do it is just get in touch with Cass. Maybe text her exactly when you're thinking you can come, and then set up a time, and Cass will take you around to show you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I live here, so there's no just whatever every time suits you. Obviously, I do go in and out a little bit, but with a few days' notice, I can definitely make a time to fit anyone in to have a look. Definitely worth looking at because we do only have the few blocks left. And yeah, it's just a fantastic place to be. I live here full time. I've relocated from Canberra. Mary Jane's got 2 blocks here, and there's a whole good group of us that live here, and we're preparing for the worst, and even if the worst doesn't come, it's still a great place to live. We support each other if things go wrong. My daughter lives here with me too, and anything she needs, there's plenty of fellas that'll run and help her. They even just went and helped her put up a picture the other day. They saw it lying on the floor, and do you want us to put that up for you, Kiana? So yeah, everybody helps everybody with everything that's happening around here. We've got some guys that know how to do lots of handyman things and drive the trucks and fix the cars, and so that's all just fantastic. Back to the old community way of living where we're after each other.
Yeah, but there's not too many living there permanently. It's more also a lot of us have just land banked for bug out times. So I've got 2 sites, one with my SMSF and one with my own family. We don't ever plan to really live there unless the sky falls, and that's where we'll be running to. But it's great to land bank. get it prepared, know the people that are in the community so that when the zombies come, you can fend against the zombies. And you know, it's great. And we just use it as a, so the worst case is zombie apocalypse. The best case is, you know, lovely holiday destination.
Sure. And did I hear that you were doing another property like this as well after this one, or not quite yet?
Not quite yet. That one hasn't got off the ground. This one's become more difficult than we anticipated, and it's taking a lot of our time. So we haven't got the other one off the ground yet.
Sure. Okay. Thank
Mary,
you.
you've got a glitch in the system. You are all over the place. Can anyone
Yeah,
else?
no, I know. It's anyway.
Yeah, I've not seen that before.
No, it was happening before, and I thought I'd fixed it, but it's just this time of the connection. Anyway, so now PD just joined. PD, I'll just bring you up to speed. We are recording this. It'll go on some Freedom Broadcasting Network YouTube at some stage. So if you want to keep your face and name off, that's fine. If you've got a question, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask it, or put it in the chat if you don't want to speak. But you will have to unmute yourself. We only have 3 people tonight, which was 27 down from last time we did it. So we've pretty much gone through everyone's questions. You've just popped on. So if you've got a question, ask away.
Oh, more. Just when I thought I was going to get an early night.
I'm here. Sorry, people.
Yeah, great. No, that's good. Do you have a question for us, Peter?
Yeah, it's Phil. It's more regarding me sister's question, and you've probably been asked this 1,000 gazillion times, given your experience.
That's
She
okay.
lives over in the UK.
Yep.
She's born here in Australia, but she's moved over to the UK for about 10 years. How would she access her super to move it overseas, over to where she's living now in Scotland?
Okay, so there's a couple of different answers to that. We specialise in self-managed super funds. An overseas resident can't have a self-managed super fund, but they can be a member of one. Let's say, for example, if you set up an SMSF.
Yeah, I've got one. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So if her money she's got to be less than 50%. So let's say if you had a few $100,000 in an SMSF and she's only got a smaller amount, so less than 50%. I would want to double check this, but if she does want to proceed, we'd just double check and make sure. But from last time I looked at this, if she's got less than 50%, she could join yours.
Okay.
Yep. That way she could get it out of the Australian super. She couldn't get it out of superannuation. It would still be in superannuation.
Yeah, yep.
Be in your SMSF, and therefore could go into gold or silver or something else that she wants to put it in, rather than where it is stuck. The other way, if she didn't want to join SMSF, would be you can withdraw your super from the Australian system if you have moved overseas and you're never coming back.
Oh, righto.
You can, but there's quite a hefty tax on it. I think they take about 50% as you take it out.
Yeah, okay. So that's what I was thinking. The best thing would be to join a self-managed like super fund.
Yeah.
And then purchase gold or silver or whatever it is, and then work it around by that. How would she go about? Obviously, there's checks and balances to say that she's to like join it, like verification of ID and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Because she hasn't paid taxes here for like 10 years, but her last tax bill was up to date. But
that's okay. With the for those of you that aren't aware of this, as we're setting up an SMSF, the tax department will double check that your taxes are up to date and you're a good tax person and you haven't, you paid your bills and all that sort of thing. That's only upon setup. For her joining one, we don't have those problems.
Righto.
We just do a bit of work in the background to add her to your super fund. We'll need ID to get it added to the Macquarie bank account, but Mary Jane's team can talk you through all that.
Phil, is this Legless Goanna?
Yeah, that's the one. You picked it.
Love the name. I will just say, actually, Cass, just to add on to that, we have recently, and this must be a new thing, had cases where someone was added and the ATO did review it.
Did
Okay.
they?
Yeah, so we do have to add them in the ABR, which triggers an ATO thing, and they're connecting all the dots now. So, but your sister's and my video seems to have died. That's why my face is not showing. The your sister's tax returns, you may be able to just like she may be able to just do them like no tax return required or
Well,
something.
yeah, like last time she was like here in Australia, they're all up to date. She done it like so. Yeah,
Yeah.
she just hasn't made an income here for like 10 years because she's obviously, you know.
Yeah. So we are tax agents as well, and we could take her on as a client and just lodge what we call an indicator to say no return necessary.
Okay, yep.
So that would be fine. So then she would be able to join your fund.
Lovely. She might tell me to get Nick, but no, I did say I'd come on here and ask it for you. But I'd just like to say that the whole process with setting up the self-managed super fund through you guys has been so easy, like easier than what people realize. They think there's like heaps of paperwork or whatever, but not real. I couldn't believe how well streamlined your company actually like was. Very
Yes.
simple, just a waiting process. It's unbelievable for like anyone out there listening. They tell you it's easy. I'm a 6-pack short of a carton sort of guy, and it was easy for me to do. And I'll tell you how easy it was. I went and bought gold and silver today. Piece of cake, set up with Ainsley Bullion. I think it was 20 minutes, and I already like had an online registered account, everything bought, done, like piece of cake.
Excellent. That's what we love to hear, Phil. And that is one of our mottos. My motto used to be self-managed super fund made it easy. Now it is your super, your choice, because that fits in with a few other things lately. But yeah, and our job is to make it easy. I've been doing SMSF for 25 years. And then when Mary Jane came on, Mary Jane is a very systemized, driven person. And so she streamlined it all into a really easy package. In terms of paperwork, there is so much paperwork to set up an SMSF. We do it all for you. So that's the idea of what we do.
Absolutely. Right, I'll just end it there, but a shout out to Daisy. She'll probably be listening later on, but g'day, Daisy.
All right, excellent. So Sandy's got her hand up.
I think that's from last time. Sorry, Cass.
No worries at all. And Louise has got her hand up.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, great. Sorry. Hi, good evening, everybody. I just had issues getting on. I'm really sorry. Tech issues. Hey, nice to see you, Cass. Hi, Mary Jane. Yeah, my question, I assume that's what we're doing, is asking questions. Okay, thank you. It's about the painting that you mentioned in one of your newsletters that you send out. To have that for our SMSF regulations, we need to have that stored somewhere. And I just wanted to follow up on that and find out exactly where could we store it on the land that we've bought in our SMS in the container in there, or where exactly I don't really know where to go from there.
Yeah, good question.
Cass, I can jump in here because you're
Please
talking about the article can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
So we have very few people that have what's called collectibles, which includes artwork.
Yeah.
And we put a little article out a couple of weeks ago about collectibles, and in that article there is a link to the ATO website, which has got all the very prescriptive information about how you need to have these things stored. It is unlike bullion, which is not prescriptive. It's very detailed about insurance and where you can store it. We can't remember off the top of our heads because it's so particular, but you will have now an accountant in our company.
Yeah.
Who's your accountant, Louise?
Gosh, something like Anna or Louis or
Ricky.
Gosh.
Julie?
Ricky. Thank you, Ricky.
Okay. So that's all right. So Ricky. So Ricky's brilliant. What I would suggest, Ricky's supervisor is Peter.
Yeah, that's right.
after you've had a look at the ATO website and tried to understand the prescription, you can book in a time with Peter to ask her questions about your understanding. I'll put in the chat, I'll put in a little link to the book appointment.
Okay.
Sorry, I seem to be having IT issues going on here.
Yeah.
We all. Oh,
Yeah.
there's
Me
crap
too.
going on.
So in the chat, here is the link to our book now, and in
Okay.
there you book SMSF Technical Tax Advice Consult. It's free because you're one of our clients, and
Yeah.
select Peter, PETA. And
Oh,
Peter
okay.
is our managing director of the SMSF account, so Ricky's supervisor. Because Ricky is doing all the accounting. Have a look at the ATO website. What I will also do is put that link to that article. It's on our website under news and events. Let me just find it. Collectibles ATO rules clarified.
I did read it, and it does not make sense to me. I tried to unpack it. I read it like 3 times, and it still went round and round in circles.
Yeah. Okay. So the requirements are there.
Yeah.
No. But look, you've given it a go. That will help Peter, because you'll have a base for Peter to then help explain it to you. If you go in with a blank sheet, it's harder. So yeah, just book in a time, be very specific about what you want to talk about, and then Peter can help you.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, when I used to, that's a question I dealt with for a long time. But when I did deal with it last, it really is storage in an artwork storage facility. Not storing
artwork storage facility. Okay.
Storing it anywhere at your own home or on your own property. That was the last time I dealt with it.
So I can read what it says. You can store but not display collectibles and personal use assets in premises owned by a related party, provided it is not their private residence.
That's right. The related party.
Related party. So if you've got
I got that. Yep.
Okay, but it can't be their private residence. So if they've got a garage, let me continue. It can't be displayed, because this means they are being used by the related party. For example, if your SMSF invests in artwork, it can't be hung in the business premise of a related party where it is visible to clients and employees. So it can be someone you know or is related. It can't be in their private residence, and it can't be displayed no matter where it's being stored.
Okay. Can the related party be your SMSF? Your trust, sorry. Our trust, because that's third party, isn't it?
Related party. But does that trust own a property that's not your principal place of residence?
Yes, that trust owns a property that is not our principal place of residence. Yeah,
well,
correct.
That would seem to indicate that would be okay, and it's not to be displayed.
Correct.
Yes, but you'd still be best just using that booking link. Book a chat with Peter, and just check, because she is fully up to date with those sort of things.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, I know her SMSF has bought artwork, so she should be 100% on top of those things.
And and this is the thing about the ATO rules and legislation and so on. They often don't say things. When they do say things, it's very narrow about a point. But what that enables is, well, for example, with bullion, well, they have not said you need to store it in this, that, or the other. Therefore, they haven't said you can't do it. Therefore, you can do it.
Yeah, I get you. Thanks, Mary Jane.
So, and a lot of our clients, and I just raise this generally because a lot of our clients say, well, where does it say in the legislation I can do it? And Cass always says, well, look at it in reverse. It's not about what you can do. It's about, they're saying what you can't do. And if they don't say you can't do it, then you can do it.
Yeah. Thanks, Cass. Thanks, Mary Jane. That's very helpful.
No worries at all. All right, we've got a few more people join us. So for those that don't know what this is about, we just simply do question and answers tonight. So it's okay just to join and listen as well. But if you have any questions, this is a great place to jump on and get your questions answered. So you can raise your virtual hand on one of the buttons there, or turn your camera on and wave at us, whatever, or put the question in the chat. So does anyone else have any more questions?
I'm sorry, Cass, I just wanted to say as well, I wanted to follow on from what Phil was saying about how fantastic it's been to set up an SMSF with you guys. And I just want to say we've experienced fantastic results. Thank you. So if anyone is thinking of setting up an SMSF with Freedom Financial Solutions, I highly recommend it because it's taken a lot of pressure off us. I really didn't know what I was doing, and to be able to put it into the hands of someone who does know what they're doing has been extremely, extremely helpful for us. So that's what I wanted to follow up with. So thanks, Cass.
Yeah, thanks.
Sign off.
It's always great to hear. We do put in a lot of effort. Mary Jane and I, it's not just a job to us. In fact, we were both retired. Mary Jane was definitely retired, and I'd had enough after the pandemic. I just went, oh, bugger this and all this financial world. It's all bullshit anyway. But then I saw a need for, well, it is bullshit, so let's help clients get their money out of the bullshit and into something real. So yeah, we both do it as sort of love for what we do. So it's great to hear that positive feedback. Great. All right. Any other questions out there? And we do hold this every second week. Once we hold it at 6 o'clock at night on one fortnight, and then lunchtime the next fortnight, just to cater for those that can do nights and those that can do days. So yeah, anytime you want to jump on, the link is always on our website. So anyone else there's a few hands up, but I'm not sure if there are hands up left from other questions. But Sandy, PD and Louise have still got their hand up. If you do have a question, unmute yourself and ask away.
Yeah, it's legless here, Cass.
Yeah.
With obviously the news around Samsung the last few weeks with their EVs, how they've generated their batteries to contain more silver. What's your thoughts on that with the 9-minute charge and a 600-mile radius?
I hadn't actually heard that, but that's good news for the silver market. Not surprising though, because almost every bit of technology, as far as I'm aware, every bit of technology we have, from cars to computers to watches to iPhones to aeroplanes to rockets, all need silver.
Yeah, it's a big. They use it a lot in military, and there's a lot of that stuff going on in the world currently.
Warheads, 15 kilos of silver in a warhead, I heard Ainsley say the other day.
Wow.
And that article about silver and Samsung, yeah, that we published in our newsletter last week, I think it was, about that, or the week before. And I mean, we don't know what exactly.
No, yeah. I actually heard it on the good old Alex Jones show about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
They were talking about it when it first came out. So yeah.
So yeah, but it could be we're all waiting for silver.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of movement on the market over the last week. Mary Jane, I probably know how silver went, but I know gold went to an all-time high on Friday, and then jumped to an even higher high on Monday. So it's certainly happening out there. And for anyone who's listened to me for a while, is that I sincerely believe this is just the beginning of what's to come. So someone said to me today, oh, I've left it so late because gold's gone up so much. It's like, no, this is just the beginning. So.
And can I just say, I had a consult today with a possible new client, or probably definitely, but and he works in IT security, if you know what I mean, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And he was just saying, yeah, things are going to be happening between now and 2030. I mean, he said it's the world is going to change. And he's talking about his first hands-on experience of what's going on in the background in the financial system. And he said, look, it's going to be really tough for a lot of people. It will end up being it'll end up being a nice clean out of everything. People might not quite get it at the beginning, but it's and it'll be tough. But he said if he's surprised, he's shocked actually at how many people are just going blithely about their business, not realizing the crash that's coming. And yeah, he was and it was very interesting. And we're in Canberra, and I mean, he wasn't working for the government or anything. He was working for private. I don't know, but we've got a lot of IT specialists, security specialists around this area. And the ones that come to us, we tend not to doubt what they know firsthand. And when they tell us, they're not sensationalists. They're not going on social media saying this, that, and the other, but they do share what they know with us in confidence. So, it was quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's all coming, and that's what. And then, as I said earlier, this is Mary Jane and I. We were both retired, but we're back to help people to get their money out before this crash comes, because I know I've been saying for 3 years that it's coming, but it is coming. It's just a matter of when. Interestingly, for people that have followed the history of share market crashes, October is always a well-known month where crashes can occur. The great GFC started in October. Other crashes have happened in October. So hold your hat for October. But if you are already in SMSF or get into SMSF as quick as possible and get that gold and silver, well then great. If the share market crashes, gold and silver normally go in the opposite direction to a share market crash, as in they go skyrocketing when a share market crashes.
Yeah, and it's coming because Warren Buffett now has sold off 90%. He's only a 10% shareholder in the Bank of America, and he had like maximum that he could have. And it's had to be reported because he's been selling it off. Once he gets to the 10% of shareholding in Bank of America, they don't need to report it anymore. So he could well sell off 100%. And so what the pundits say he's doing is liquidating all his assets. So he's got a bunch of cash to go into the cleanup. Once it crashes, he can go in and save businesses. Mainstream media reports him as a hero. But actually what he's doing is just cleaning up on everyone else's hard work. Phil, did you have your hand up again, or was that from your last question?
Yeah, no, I've got my hand up again. I mean, this is a pretty straightforward question. The difference between like buying in gold and silver is the like allocated storage and allocated, like having obviously physical possession of your gold and silver, or actually storing it there where you can access the markets to sell. If you can't get down there to physically sell it, would you be able to, Cass, elaborate a bit on that, like the pros and cons for having both?
That's exactly as you just said it. I always, in the beginning, advocated to have the physical, because, nobody can take it off you. It can't just disappear. You've got it. You can bury it in your backyard and you know where it is. And that's always what I said. But then because I was saying that on all my podcasts, and I'm thinking, God, someone's going to come and rob me because I'm telling everybody that I've got so much gold and silver in my house. So I've moved all mine into allocated and unallocated, and I've realized that it's actually really easy. So the unallocated in particular, it's the cheapest way to buy it, the cheapest way to sell it, and it's just really easy. You don't have to go and pick it up. It's just sitting in a storage facility with Ainsley Bullion, and when you want to, if you need to access it, you just ring them or email them. Say, cash in 50,000 of it for me, and they put the money straight back into your bank account. Makes it really, really easy. So what I've seen a lot of clients do lately is definitely have some physical at home, however much they're comfortable with storing at home. Some people are very comfortable. They've got fantastic safes or really good hiding places, and they're totally comfortable having it at home. Other people are not so comfortable, or they're traveling a lot or living in a motorhome. They don't want to store it. But some people have the physical at home and then maybe have a quarter of it at home and then 3/4 of it with Ainsley Bullion just for that security. And I fully trust Ainsley Bullion now. They're a family company. They've been around for 50 years. They're great people. They're like-minded. They know why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah. I couldn't believe how quick the response was and how easy it was to set up.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, like, even come another pandemic, they were open throughout the whole pandemic because they're financial services, which is deemed to be an essential service. So like the banks, they didn't close. So having said all of that, I personally, this is my personal opinion, if the world started falling apart, like, so I've got all my money, all my gold and silver now with Ainsley, and they're allocated, unallocated, and some in a vault that they've got, private vault. If the world started going to hell in a basket very, very quickly, like World War III breaks out and there's bombs flying everywhere, I would probably hop in my car and go and get it. Just because I would then, if the world is really falling apart, I would prefer to hold the physical asset.
Oh, that's absolutely correct, isn't it? Because you'd want it there, obviously, because it's, you know, be able to trade with it if you survive.
Yeah, exactly. And what if they
Yeah.
sent a bomb wiped out Brisbane City?
Yeah.
So I would go and get it in that what should I say, if, or should I say when, at extreme, I will go and get it and have it physically.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries at all. Anyone else?
All
And
right.
for those that have just joined us, I said earlier, we do hold this every fortnight, either at 6 o'clock at night or at I think 12:30 or something like that during the day, alternate fortnights. Jump on. We don't mind if people just jump on and listen. Yeah, tonight was a quiet night. We normally have 20 to 30 people, and they go for an hour worth of questions. So jump on anytime, or also jump on anytime you've got a question.
Okay, I'll stop recording, and we will find out where it's located in YouTube, and it'll be in our next newsletter. So
Yeah, boring these